Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum to all my students. I hope you all are hale and healthy by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also fine and doing great. It is always intensely pleasurable to treat you people with a warm welcome. Today, also I am more than just happy to be able to be with you through yet another informative lecture. Your presence is always a source of happiness for me. I appreciate your presence always. So today we are not going to learn anything new today. So what we are going to do, we are going to review our chapter number 1, that is Introduction to Chemistry. That is our reinforcement lecture, and I am going to review that chapter again. So it is not necessary, but still I am going to introduce myself. Who I am your science teacher, Miss Falak Nas, and this is your lecture number 7 from chemistry. Okay, now without wasting any time, let's move on to the chapter, or let's start the lecture again. So first I am going to explain the definition of chemistry. So what is the definition of chemistry? Chemistry is the branch of science, okay, that deals with the properties, composition and structure of matter. Now what is matter? Matter is something that has mass and that occupies space. So in chemistry you will study about the properties of matters, like the characteristics of matter, its kind, quality, color, size, shape, everything about matter. So these are the characteristics of matter. So first of all, chemistry deals with the properties of matters. Then composition means how your matter is composed of, what type of atoms and molecules are present in a matter. So what you will study in chemistry, you will study the properties and composition of matter. And the last here you can see is the structure, means the arrangement of atoms and molecules in any specific matter, how atoms and molecules are arranged in any matter. So chemistry deals with the properties, composition and structure of matter. Secondly, it also deals with the changes involved in the matter. What type of changes? Means that solid can be converted into liquid, liquid can be converted into gas. So what are the changes that are involved in the matter? That will also studied under chemistry. And the last one is it deals with the principles governing the changes which matter may undergo. Solid can be converted into liquid. So what are the laws, what are the rules and regulations, what are the processes that are involved in the conversion of solid into liquid as well as liquid into gas? So all these things will studied under one branch or one subject, that is called chemistry. So what is chemistry? It is the branch that deals with the matter. What about matter? Matter's properties, composition and structure, as well as the changes and the principles that are governing these changes. So these whole things you will study in chemistry. Okay, now move on to the next one, that is that reasons to study chemistry, means why you studied chemistry. There are basically 3 significant reasons to study chemistry. Okay, there are 3 significant reasons to study chemistry. Firstly, chemistry has important practical application in the society. Means you can apply chemistry everywhere, in every aspect of your life. Just suppose if you want to make any detergents, you want to make any soap, shampoo, your food items, juices, everything, chemistry is involved in every aspect of our life. For example, here you can see the development of life-saving drugs as well. Okay, everything in everywhere, chemistry is involved. That's why you have to study chemistry. Secondly, chemistry is an intellectual enterprise. Here you need to know the term intellectual. What does intellectual means? to do critical thinking of anything, of any matter, critical thinking. So chemistry is an intellectual enterprise, means it do critical thinking about the matter. Intellectual enterprise means a faculty of reasoning about something, about matter especially. Okay, so chemistry is an intellectual enterprise because it is a way of explaining our material world, the things which is present around ourselves. Okay, the thing which is present are around ourselves. So if you want to explain anything, so what you will do, you will study chemistry, because you will chemistry will give answers of all these things. Okay, thirdly, chemistry figures prominently in other fields. How? Such as in biology, in the advancement of medicines. So chemistry figures prominently in other fields means chemistry plays a vital role in other branches of science as well. Just suppose here you have biology. Okay, so in biology, what you have, you can make medicines in biology. So if you want to make any medicine, so you must know how, what type of chemicals and what type of composition will be used to make any medicine. So for this, obviously you will study chemistry. So these are the important reasons that why we study chemistry. Number one, it has important practical application because it helps in the development of life-saving drugs. Second, it is an intellectual enterprise, a way of explaining our material world. And the last one, it plays a vital roles in other fields of science as well, that is like biology. Okay, now move on to the next thing, that is the history of chemistry. Okay, so the history of chemistry, history means study of the past events. Okay, if you want to study any past event, so that will be considered as the history. So here we are going to study about the history of chemistry. Also, although I have explained the history of chemistry in very detail in my earlier lectures, like in lecture number 1 and 2 of class 8 science, so here I am just going to overview or go through the important events that are took place in the history of chemistry. Okay, so the first one is, from the beginning, chemistry was used in a number of ways. Okay, chemistry was used in a number of ways. Just suppose it is used for pottery making. You know, what is it used for? It is used for pottery making. Pottery, what are pottery? All the pots, dishes, utensils that are made up of fired clay. So this is called pottery. Okay, so it is used for pottery making, glass making, dyeing, and in metallurgical techniques. Okay, it is used in all these things. Metallurgy, now here you have metallurgical techniques. So what is metallurgy? Metallurgy is a process. Okay, it is a process for the extraction of metals from their ores. You know, students, that when you are going to extract the metals inside the earth, so what you will do, you will dig out, you will do mining, and then you will extract some different types of you can say rocks or anything. So what are those things? From the rocks, what you will do, you will extract some important metal that are important for you, or the precious metal, but that precious metal in the rock are present along with the impurities. So how will you edit, or how will you separate the pure metal from their impurities? So it is so there are some techniques. Okay, so this process, the extraction of metals from their ores, the process is called metallurgy. And how will you extract the metals from their ores? That are called metallurgical techniques. So chemistry in the earlier basis, or you can say on early time period, in ancient time period, it is used for these metallurgical techniques as well. Okay, now quickly go through the ancient time, the how chemistry developed and how it started. So first one is, we are starting from the Greek period, the most ancient period, that is the Greek period. And the Greek philosophers with the name number 1 Plato, number 2 Aristotle, and number 3 Democritus. Okay, so these are the most famous scientists, or you can say philosophers, of the Greek time period, and they contributed a lot in the field of chemistry. They contributed a lot in the field of chemistry. Okay, now what are their contributions? First of all, they introduced the concept of elements, symbols, and chemical reactions. They introduced the concepts of elements, symbols, and chemical reactions, as well as they thought that all matter was derived from four elements. According to them, matter was derived from four elements, that are earth, air, fire, and water. These were the contributions of Greek philosophers. Okay, and the most important philosophers were Plato, Aristotle, and Democritus. Now move on to the next one. That is the next period. It is the Muslim period. Okay, now what is the Muslim period? This Muslim period is known as the period of alchemists. Okay, who are alchemists? Who perform alchemy. What is alchemy? Alchemy is a process, or you can say it is a study of converting. Means it is a study of converting, in which scientists will know how to convert an ordinary matter into something extraordinary. Means in this period, scientists wants to convert the cheap metals into the precious metals like gold. So this is called alchemy. What is alchemy? It is a study in which you have only one purpose. And what is that one purpose? To convert the ordinary matter into something extraordinary. Like they want to convert some cheap metal into gold. Okay, and those scientists who are doing this, they are known as the alchemists, and their period, the Muslim period, basically is known as the period of alchemist. Okay, the alchemists developed and used many laboratory equipments. What they used many laboratory equipments, such as number 1 is funnels. You know, funnels was developed by alchemists. Next is crucibles. These are crucibles and they are used for melting purposes. Okay. Next is balance machines, balances. So these balances was also introduced by Muslim scientists. Retorts, these are the retorts, and these retorts are used for distillation purposes. And the last but the most important one is the beakers. Okay, so these are the liquid laboratory equipments, or you can say the basic laboratory equipments that were developed by the Muslim scientists, especially Jabir ibn Hayyan and many more. Okay, next is the topic that we are going to study is the branches of chemistry. Okay, branches of chemistry. Okay, you know, chemistry is a very vast subject. That's why we have divided the chemistry, or you can say the subject of chemistry, into some more branches, so that you can study everything in detail. Okay, so I'm going to start from the very first branch, that is the physical chemistry. Okay, now what is physical chemistry? It deals with the laws and the principles governing the combination of atoms and molecules in chemical reactions. Okay, it deals with the laws and the principles. Now, governing the combination of atoms. Okay, combination of atom means what? Here you can see that these are the atoms or molecules that are combining with each other. Here you can see this thing, and this thing. Okay, here you can see they are making some sorts of bonds, and different types of atoms and molecules are combined with each other. So how they are combined with each other, what are the principles, what are the laws that govern these combinations? So if you want to study all these things, so you will study in the branch of chemistry that is called physical chemistry. Next is organic chemistry. Okay, what is organic chemistry? It deals with the carbon compounds, with the exception of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, metal carbonates, bicarbonates, and carbides. Okay, basically it is the chemistry of hydrocarbons. Okay, what are hydrocarbons? Here you can see the molecule of hydrocarbon. What are hydrocarbons? It is a compound that contains carbon and hydrogen only. Okay, that contains carbon and hydrogen only. So those compounds that contains carbon and hydrogen, they are called hydrocarbons. Okay, and these hydrocarbons basically derive from all the living matter. Here you can see there are living matter. So all the matter that derive from all the compounds that obtained from living organism, that compounds are called organic compounds, and their study will be done under the one branch of chemistry that is called organic chemistry. Okay, most of the consumer products are organic in nature. Okay, now move on to the next one, that is the inorganic chemistry. It is the branch of chemistry that deals with the chemistry of elements and their compounds. Okay, it is the branch of chemistry that deals with the chemistry of elements and their compounds generally obtained from non-living organisms. Okay, now all those compounds that obtained from non-living organisms, you will study all those compounds in inorganic chemistry. Now here you can see some inorganic materials that are here. Just suppose water, carbon dioxide, HCl, diamond, calcium carbonate, and sodium chloride, that is your common salt, or you can say the table salt. Okay, so these are the compounds that obtained from non-living organisms. That's why if you want to study all of these compounds, so you will study it under inorganic chemistry. Next is analytical chemistry. So what is analytical chemistry? It deals with the study of the methods and techniques. Here it deals with the study of methods and techniques involved to determine the kind. Number one, it involved to determine the kind, quality and quantity of various components in a given substance. Okay, I'm going to explain it with some examples here. Just suppose here you can see they are collecting the blood sample in a test tube. Okay, now after that, in this blood sample, what they will do, they will perform some experiments, they will perform some techniques and methods to find out the kind, quality and quantity of the component that are present inside the blood. Just suppose the number of RBCs, WBCs or platelets, and you can see everything that is present inside the blood sample. So if you want to analyze your blood sample or anything, so what you will do, you will study analytical chemistry. Here you can say determination of melting and boiling points is also an example of analytical chemistry, and as well as chromatography. Okay, what is chromatography? Chromatography, it is a technique used to separate different colors from the dyes or from the inks. Okay, this is a technique that is used to analyze the sample as well. Okay, this is the technique that is used to analyze the samples as well. Okay, so if you want to analyze anything, if you want to analyze their kind, quality and quantity of any component that is present in a substance, so what you will do, you will study analytical chemistry. Next is biochemistry. It deals with the compounds of living organisms. It deals with the compounds of living organism, means the compounds that obtained from plants and animals and their metabolism in the living body. Metabolism means breaking down or joining of material. Okay, breaking down of something into its simpler form and then joining of material to make another molecule, that is called metabolism. So in living body, you know, here if you can see, here is a picture of cell. What is going here? Here you have different types of molecules that are coming inside the cell, and they break down into simpler form, and then it will gives you energy. So how they are giving you energy, what type of living or organic matter or what type of compounds are found inside the living organism, what type of chemical reactions are taking place inside the cell. So all this thing if you want to study, so what you will do, you will study biochemistry. Okay, next is industrial chemistry. Okay, industrial chemistry, so it is the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of different chemical processes. Okay, it is the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of different chemical processes involved in the chemical industry for the manufacture of synthetic products like glass, cement, paper, soda, ash, fertilizers, and medicines. Okay, what type of processes are involved in the making of cement, paper, glass, and how will you make all these things in the industries? What are the techniques? So if you want to study anything, so you will study industrial chemistry. Just suppose here you can see, here you have the making of cement, here you can see the making of glass, the processes that are involved to make the glass. So all these things, if you want to study, so you will study it in industrial chemistry. Okay, now the next one is environmental chemistry. Okay, the environmental chemistry, as the name indicates, it is the branch of chemistry that deals with the study of the interaction of chemical materials. Okay, it deals with the study of the interaction of chemical materials and their effect on the environment of animals and plants. Okay, now if you look around yourself, you have so many things. Just suppose here you can say, here you have so many toxic things like the smoke that is coming out from the vehicles, from the industries, from the electricity. So all these things will affect your environment, it will affect the living body as well. So all these things is that how it will affect on human body or how it will affect any living body. So if you want to study their effects on living body, so you will study it in environmental chemistry, because it deals with these things. Okay, it deals with the study of interaction of chemical materials and their effect on environment of animals and plants. Okay, just suppose personal hygiene, pollution, and health hazards are important areas of environmental chemistry. Okay, now move on to the next one. Okay, steps of scientific method. Okay, the last topic of the lecture. This is the last topic of today's lecture. So here what you will study, that what are the scientific steps if you want to study anything. Okay, if a scientist do any experiment, so he or she must go through these 4 steps. What are they? Number 1 is observation. What is observation? Observation is done by using our 5 senses. Means a scientist will observe something that is happening inside the environment, that is happening around the scientist. So what he will do, he will observe something, he will think about it, he will perform some experiment based on their observations. So what a scientist do after observation, he will perform so many experiments to check out whether his observation is right or wrong. After that, he will give a proper explanation of that observation. That explanation is basically a trial idea of the scientist, but that trial idea or that explanation is called as hypothesis. So first a scientist will observe something, then he will perform some experiments on it, and then present a possible explanation of his observations. That is called hypothesis. If this hypothesis tested again and again and found to fit the facts, then it will become a theory. Okay, then it will become a theory. And if theory is universally accepted, then it will become a scientific law. Okay, so these are the 4 steps of scientific method. Number 1, observation, hypothesis, theory, and scientific law. Is that clear? Okay, now that's the end of the lecture, students. Now I'm going to end my lecture here, but what I'm going to do next, I'm going to ask so many questions with you, and what you have to do, you have to write the answer in the chat box. Okay, so write down the answer in the chat box, the question that I'm going to ask with you all. So number 1 is, most of the consumer products are dash in nature. So please write it down in the chat box, and I'm going to check your answers here. What will be the answer? Okay, very quick answers by all of you. Very good, beta. Very good. That's good. So the correct answer is, most of the consumer products are organic in nature. Next is, dash deals with the compounds or living organism. Hurry up, write down the answer quickly in the chat box, and I'm going to check the answer. Dash deals with the compounds of living organisms. Very good, Faliha. Very good, Bete. Very good. That is very good, Anas. So, dash deals with the compounds of living organisms means it is the organic chemistry. Organic chemistry deals with the compounds of living organisms. Quite good. Okay, next is dash deals with the study of polymerization. Okay, what will be the answer of this? Basically, I didn't explain this branch of chemistry in my today lecture, but I have already explained it in my previous lecture. So depending based on your previous lecture, please tell me the right answer. Oh, that's quite very good. Okay, that's really good. So the correct answer is polymeric chemistry. Polymeric chemistry. That's quite good. Quite good. Okay, move on to the next one. Dash means breaking down or making of compounds. That's simple. Very easy and very simple. Okay, very good. That's quite good, students. All of you are replying so fast. It is very clear to all of you. That's quite good. So dash means metabolism. Metabolism means breaking down or making of compounds. That's it. Okay, now move on to the next one. HCl is an dash compound. Okay, here you have to tell me HCl is an organic compound or inorganic compound. Okay, here you have to tell me HCl is an organic compound or an inorganic compound. Okay, that's good. That's good. All of you are replying. Very good, beta. Very good, Abdul Rahman. Very good, Shahira. Very good. HCl is an inorganic compound. Very good. Very good. Now move on to the next one. Chemistry also deals with the dash involved in the matter. That's it, easy. Okay, what will be the answer? Chemistry also deals with the dash involved in the matter. What will be the answer? Okay, so the correct answer is changes. Chemistry also deals with the changes involved in the matter. Now move on to the next one. Dash deals with the laws and the principles governing the combination of atoms and molecules in chemical reactions. Tell me the answer. Okay. That's good. That's quite good. Very good. Very good. So the correct answer is physical chemistry. Okay. Now move on to the next one. Organic chemistry is the chemistry of what? Organic chemistry is the chemistry of dash means what? Quite good. Anas, very good. Very good. Okay, so the correct answer is hydrocarbons. Correct answer is hydrocarbons. That's good. Now, number 9. Dash deals with the study of changes occurring in the nuclei of atoms. Please tell me the answer. I'm waiting for your answer. Okay, all of you are replying so fast. That is the correct answer is nuclear chemistry. That's good. Okay, the last and the most easy one. The last and the most easy one is there are dash steps of scientific methods. Please hurry up. There are very good. There are 4 steps of scientific method. Very good, students. Very good. So the correct answer here is nuclear chemistry, and that answer number 10 is 4. That's quite good. Okay, students, that's the end of the lecture, and I'm going to end my lecture here. Okay, so if you want to ask any question, if you have any query regarding your Google Classroom or regarding your quiz that I'm going to post today, so you can ask me here. Okay, so some of you are asking about the physical chemistry. Okay, no problem. I'm going to again repeat the physical chemistry. So here you have physical chemistry. It deals with the laws and the principles governing the combination of atoms and molecules in chemical reactions. Okay. So, in physical chemistry, you will learn how these atoms are combining with each other. What are the laws and principles that govern these combinations? Okay, this is the physical chemistry. Okay, if you have any other questions, you can ask. Okay, the difference between yes, Abdurrahman, 1 minute. The difference between organic chemistry and biochemistry is that in organic chemistry, you will study about the compounds, you will study about the hydrocarbons only. Okay, you will study about hydrocarbons only. Hydrocarbons means those compounds that obtained from the living matter. But in biochemistry, you will study all the compounds, not only the hydrocarbons, but all the compounds that obtained from living organisms, that is plants and animals, as well as their metabolism, means what type of chemical reactions are going inside the living body. You will also learn all this thing in biochemistry, whereas in organic chemistry you will study about the hydrocarbon. Okay, organic chemistry is the study of hydrocarbons only, whereas all the other compounds that are present inside the living body, you will study all those things in biochemistry. Okay, is that clear? Okay students, I'm going to mark your attendance. Just give me few minutes. I'm going to take the screenshot. Okay, now 1 minute students. Okay, first of all, I would like to say thank you to all of you. I would like to say thank you so much for being with me. But before ending my lecture here, I am going to discuss few things with you. Number one is regarding about your quiz. Okay, I am going to post your quiz today. Okay, and please do not ask me again and again then, ma'am, when you are going to post a quiz. What you have to do, your quiz will be of 10 marks and you have 24 hours to attempt the quiz. After 24 hours it will no more be available on Google Classroom. So if immediately after posting the quiz you have to attempt it. Okay, you have 24 hours. Just suppose if I post it on today at 12 o'clock, so it will be removed from Google Classroom tomorrow at 12 o'clock as well. Okay, and your quiz is basically multiple choice quizzes. Okay, and you have to pick the right answer. Is that clear? Please tell me, is it clear? Okay, so everyone is saying that it is clear. It is clear. Okay, thank you. Okay students, so if you are not going to ask any question, then I'm going to end my lecture here because time is also running out. So thank you for being with me. Thank you so much. Okay, take care. Allah Hafiz. Stay at home, stay safe. Thank you so much.